Redshift here, doing my part to shift perceptions out of the pink and into the red. Okay, there's this lute song called Your Side of the Bed, and in the song it says, I hope you never hear this, you probably couldn't deal with it. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I wanted to comment on it again, because I think what I say here is a little different, but I'm not sure. But anyway, having standards is not the same thing as not being able to deal with something, right? She says you probably couldn't deal with it. As if he's just immature, he couldn't deal with the fact that she has a new boyfriend who she's sleeping with, even though she's still in love with him, her ex, right? But him not being able to deal with it doesn't mean that he's immature. It just means that he has standards, right? Or it can mean that, right? But women are amoral, you know? In other words, women have no standards, and thus cannot tell the difference between a guy having standards and a guy not being able to deal with something because he's mentally or emotionally weak or because he's immature or whatever, right? Like, women can't tell the difference because they're amoral. You know, men don't tolerate cheating. Men, instead, get angry and walk away. And men are disgusted by monkey branching and want nothing to do with women who prove themselves to be bad women by moving on, especially if she moves on quickly. Right? If she gets a new boyfriend quickly, that's a mark against her. It proves that she is not a good woman and he's better off without her. I would say if she moves on at all within, a period of 1 or 2 years, if it was a serious relationship, and she breaks up with the guy, let's say she's with a guy for 2, 3, 4 years, and then she breaks up, they break up for whatever reason, maybe it's mutual, maybe he breaks up with her, maybe she breaks up with him, whatever. They break up, and then let's say anywhere between like a year or 2 years, she should at least be single for a year or two if she's a decent woman, right? Like, but if she moves on, in a month or 2 or 3, that speaks very badly of her, right? So, bad women prove themselves to be bad women by moving on quickly, right? Especially if quickly. But a really good woman would not move on at all. She'd just wait for him, especially if he were a good guy and there was some reasonable hope of getting back together with him, right? Women want to act like men being intolerant of whorish female behavior is male fragility. Like it's just that fragile male ego, right? Like it's just male weakness, right? But it's not weakness to be intolerant of evil female behavior. It's actually strength. It's actually self-respect. Women and the elites want to convince men that walking away from women is male weakness, fragility, etc., even though it's actually strength to walk away from women. They want to keep men weak, and they intuitively realize that men walking away from women increases male power and decreases the power of women and the elites. So I wanted to say that, and then I also wanted to point out a little bit of Illuminati symbolism in the Lauren Gray My Story music video. That's the song My Story, and the music video for it showed like 3 triangles, and she was in the middle one, and then there were 2 triangles behind her and off to the sides, right? But in other parts in the video, the triangles that were off to the sides would be not right side up like the other part of the video, but the triangles would be pointing down, right? And so this made me realize that I had forgotten this, but the alchemical symbol for fire is, I hadn't forgotten this, but I hadn't realized that it tied into the symbolism of this video, which is that a triangle that's pointing upward, like a pyramid, that is the alchemical symbol for fire. And a triangle pointing downward is the alchemical symbol for water. And fire is red, and water is blue. And the elites use red as their symbol for them, right? For the top of the pyramid. The elites, the ruthless people, the smart people, etc., right? And they use blue as the color representing us at the bottom of the pyramid. That is the 99%, the sheeple, the gullible, the sweet, the nice, etc., the people who don't realize the importance and truth of Darwinianism, right? So putting the 2 triangles upside down is the same thing as like putting the 2 blue crosses on the sides of the bigger red cross in the middle, like they did in Halsey's Now or Never video, right? So this is the same kind of thing, and I just wanted to point out that I kind of knew that those 2 triangles off to the sides were representing the people and the blue crosses and the 99%, right? But I didn't put it together with the alchemical symbol for fire and water, right? The upward pointing triangle representing the elites and the symbol of fire, and the downward pointing triangles representing the sheeple and the alchemical symbol of water. I didn't put that together before, so I wanted to point that out. That's about all I had to say in this video. This has been Redshift. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked this video. Hit the thumbs down button if you hated it. Peace trucks.